and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Claudia. Today we'll be making a very traditional Portuguese dish that if you're Portuguese, you're very familiar with it. My background is Portuguese and I grew up eating this all the time. It is a meal that's often had during the week in Portugal, especially in August when there's an abundance of sardines and tomatoes. So today we'll be making fried sardines and a tomato rice. Sardinhas fritas e arroz de tomate. My mom used to make tomato rice all the time, especially in August when there was an abundance of tomatoes from our garden. Bora lá. Let's go over the ingredients. Of course, we will need our sardines. These are just frozen sardines and I took them out this morning. They just need a couple of hours to defrost. You're gonna need 2 very ripe tomatoes, some tomato paste, 3 or 4 garlic cloves, a bay leaf, medium-sized onion. I'm using a flaky Portuguese sea salt. So you're gonna need salt and some pepper and some chicken stock or vegetable stock. I'm just using the better than bouillon, and some rice. I will be using Portuguese rice. This is short grain rice. You can also use long grain rice, or if you're using short grain rice or arborio rice, it will give you a creamier consistency. So let's get started with prepping our sardines. So first we need to scale our sardines, and you just want to run a knife across the skin just to have any of the scales lift up. See how, not sure if you can tell, but here are the scales. So we just want to scale our sardines, and it should just all come out like so. Okay, now that we've cleaned the sardine, let's fillet it. So first there is this little fin over here that we want to cut off. So let's use our scissor. We're going to cut that little fin off. And now we're going to feel for a little bone right behind the head of the sardine, and we're going to make a little incision, and with the back to you, you're going to cut diagonally like this, and you should be able to pull out the content of the sardine. And now you want to go ahead and make a cut like so all the way to the back this way, and just clean out if whatever else didn't come out. You just want to clean it out like so. And now I like to take my scissor and just cut this part off, and on this side too we're cutting this part like so. And now we're gonna feel for the middle spine bone, like this one right here, and we're gonna put our finger behind it, and gently we're gonna guide our finger down it and remove it at the same time. See how my finger is behind it? And we're gonna try to leave as much meat behind as we can. So we just wanna get the bones like so. See how my finger's just guiding it gently down? You should just be able to pull it off at the end. And if there's any bones left behind, you can just remove them. But this is what you want to end up with. Okay, so now we have our beautiful filleted sardines. And as you can tell, it wasn't that scary. We're gonna take some sea salt. I like using the flaky kind of sea salt, and just drizzle some over. like so. And then we're gonna take some lemon and just zest it. We don't want to use lemon juice because the juice is going to start cooking the sardine and gonna change the texture of the sardine. So we're zesting a lemon. Probably like half a lemon zested. And we're also gonna take some olive oil and drizzle it just lightly over. Now we're gonna let it marinate while we prep our rice. So for the tomato rice, I've gone ahead and chopped up half of the onion and 3 cloves of garlic. They were pretty big. So I just rough chopped them and sliced them. And now we're doing the tomatoes. For the tomatoes, I'm gonna remove some of the seeds. So just removing this part and then just roughly chopping it up like so. So for some, I'm just taking out the seeds like so and just roughly chopping it up. See, like this one has a lot of seeds, so I'll take that out. So I just had a glass bottle, water bottle, explode on me in the freezer. I completely forgot about it. I put it in there this morning after I came back from grocery shopping, and all of a sudden I hear this explosion, and it's the glass bottle. Also, it was a beautiful sunny day, and now it's 1:14, and it's completely dark outside because we're under a thunderstorm watch. So let's get going, or let's get on with our recipe. We're gonna make the rice now. Okay, for this we're gonna need a medium-sized pot, and we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So let's just measure that out. Yep, 2 tablespoons is good. I'm gonna do that. And let's heat up the 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And to that, we're going to add the half of a medium-sized onion that we diced up. So add that in. We're also going to add in a bay leaf, and we're going to saute the onions until they're soft and translucent. The onions are starting to be translucent and soft. We're going to add in our 3 cloves of sliced and diced up garlic, and we're also going to add a teaspoon of oregano. That is how my mom does it. She adds oregano to it, so that's what we're doing. So once that is fragrant, just about 30 seconds, we're gonna add in our 2 diced tomatoes. And we're gonna cook them down for a bit, about, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. So it's been about 3 minutes, and as you can see, my tomato was pretty ripe, so it's really cooked down quite nicely. And it is time to add our rice. So here I have a cup of the Portuguese Carolina rice. It is not as plump as the arbrorio rice. You could also use long grain rice, but if you're using long grain rice, adjust your water. For the Carolina rice, it is 1 rice, 3 water. So 1 cup of rice, I'm just gonna saute it a bit in the tomato so it can absorb all the flavors. About a minute we're gonna saute it, and you want to stir it so it doesn't start sticking to the bottom. So now I'm gonna add 3 cups of chicken broth, And because the chicken broth already has salt, I'm just gonna do half a teaspoon of salt. And then we'll adjust later. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of the tomato paste, which I remembered I should have added when I was sauteing the onions and when I added the tomatoes, but that is okay. No problem. We're also gonna add a little bit of pepper, just ground pepper in. And we're also going to add a little pinch of sugar just to take the acidity from the tomato. And I'm just using coconut sugar, so any sugar is fine. And just a little pinch, and that will take away the acidity. So now you're gonna bring the rice to a boil, cover it, and simmer it for about 11 to 12 minutes, and we'll check on it. While the rice is cooking, we can get started on the sardines. I'm gonna make them 2 different ways. We're gonna fry them the traditional way in the pan, and we're also gonna put them in the air fryer. So I have my air fryer heating, you wanna preheat it at 400 for 10 minutes. So now we're going to flour the sardines, so like so. Okay, the air fryer is hot. We're going to put in 2 sardines. Actually, maybe I'm gonna do 3. So I put the skin facing down, and I'm gonna let them go between 7 and 8 minutes at 400. Okay, now we're ready to fry our sardines. I have a pan going with some oil, just medium heat. And we're gonna fry them 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And feel for heat, and it feels quite warm. So again, a skin down. And you wanna see that sizzling, and you know your oil is hot. While your fish is frying, you wanna get a plate ready with some paper towel. And when you take the fish out, the sardines out, you're gonna put it on the plate so it can soak up any of the excess oil. Okay, our meal is ready. Here is our beautiful rice. See how it's nice and creamy? And you might want to remove the bay leaf before you serve it. And here are our sardines, which I did 3 on the stove, and then the remaining I did all in the air fryer, and they came out perfectly. Now that our sardines are done and our rice, it's time to plate. Now, when we season the sardines, we only season the inside of the sardine. We didn't season the skin part. So what I like to do now is just put some of the sea salt flakes over the sardines, just lightly, just like that, as a presentation. And now let's serve ourselves. So you can tell, like, the ones that we made in the air fryer came out perfectly nice and crisp. And here we have my mom's tomato rice, very creamy. And now the moment of truth. Let's have some sardines and see how they taste. They're nice and crispy, and delicious. Really good. I love adding the flaky sea salt on top. And the rice is nice and creamy with that little hint of the oregano. It just comes out perfect. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you make it. I hope that you're not intimidated by making sardines now, especially if you make them in the air fryer. It comes together so quickly and without minimal cleaning up, and also a healthier way as you're not using oil to fry in the fish. I hope you enjoyed this recipe of arroz de tomate e sardinhas fritas, tomato rice, and fried sardines. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.